The Bruins are in town later this next week, right? It's a week from Thursday. And I swear that they are the gift that keeps giving for NHL media right now.
Yeah.
So let's start with Luds. David Pastrnak was benched in the third period. They beat the Seattle Kraken with a shutout from Jeremy Swayman. And Jim Montgomery says, I don't want to say anything about it other than coach's decision. What's going on in Boston?
I think Monty's getting a little frustrated there. And you know what? Like, it ultimately falls on your best players. And this happened with Pasta last year too, right?
In the playoffs.
And he he responded, and he actually gave Monty a little pass there because I needed it. I needed it. So you got it again. Maybe not as much as you had last time, but I think what you're trying to do is you typically, we talked about this stuff, you try to find players, and there may be those things that come out in the press, but a lot of coaches or GMs will go up and talk to the player and say, listen, we're going to rattle the cages here, and here's what's going to happen. And because you don't want to lose your guys. And so he knows how Pasta would handle this, and I think it sends a message. More importantly, it sends a message to the rest of the group. This is about sending a team message, and unfortunately, a lot of times you have to use your best player.
Sean, the coach can be the bad guy a fair amount, but I don't know if he can be the bad guy all the time, right? Before, at some point, he's got to make sure that the team knows that he also is in it with them, has their back. Luddy said last year, it was really important that Montgomery told Pastrnak before he went to the press, I'm going to call you out, so it wasn't a surprise. Benching him during the game is probably not a premeditated thing. He may have said something to him between the second and third period, but is Jim Montgomery, who you told us last week, probably feeling the pressure a bit because the expectations are so high in Boston and they're off to a 500 start? Is he running out of ideas, or is this just another one of his little things that he's not afraid to be the bad guy and play the villain at times?
Well, I can't help but laugh about the concept of giving the star player head start. Some criticism is coming because, as everyone knows, there was quite a conversation that we had in Dallas that I got to deliver that the star players had no idea it was coming. So I can't help but laugh when I think about that. And obviously, benching in the third period is not premeditated. He probably told him in the intermission, "You're not going back out there," and probably sent that. For me, one of the things and now Luds knows this better than I, as someone who played in the NHL and everything like that. But I always get the feeling where a coach can push and prod star players like this, as long as you get as long as that integrity of, we can push our guys around, we can call out our own guys, but the minute the X comes against from the outside, we're a group and we're defending. We can protect our own, and that's where that's to me where, from a player perspective, I would be fascinated watching Jim Montgomery right now. What happens when someone comes at him about how a player's not playing well or something like that? Where is the defense, the vigorous defense he brings to his players? So that's the thing that I would want to watch for and see as a player, because you can take the criticism, you can do that now, but when it comes time to have a guy in your corner, they have to be there as well. And that, to me, is where Jim Montgomery, if I'm a Bruins player right now, I'm watching, okay, what's this guy going to do when he should be defending us? And that I'm really interested to watch that, because once again, it'll make the Bruins great theater too. And not just because, but it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, Sean, what I would say is you're hoping for the rest of your group. When you pull these kind of moves, you're hoping for the rest of the group to rally around him. And so we're going to support him in our own way. If we're supporting him, then our game should come up a level too.
Yeah.
All right. Next on our list is, look, you may get tired of it, but it's a huge story, and we're going to keep following it throughout the season, is the Ovechkin watch. The great 8 scored again. So now he has goals in 4 straight games, and he has 7 goals in 11 games. This will be interesting. Do you guys want to count down the number till he ties or breaks Gretzky's record? Which is more important to you? Is it breaking it or getting to it?
Breaking it.
Okay, so he is 35 away now from breaking it, 34 from tying it, as he scored again yesterday in a losing effort to the Carolina Hurricanes. And he has 5 goals. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 goals in his last 4 games, a goal in each of those 4 games. He's on pace for over 50 goals now,
I hope he gets 36 in the next 2 weeks so we can quit talking about it.
right? But like,
Yeah, get
Sure
it
he
over
does
with.
too.
when we saw him, we went, this guy's not going to do it this year.
Well-
It was obvious. And then he's just exploded
He
again.
did the same thing last year where he started out slow and then he had
Yeah.
that one
But he did
month,
it for
right?
a whole half of the season last year. This, he did it for a whole, week and a half?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, though, Sean. We got to be careful. If Ovechkin hits it in the next 2 weeks, he gets kicked right out of the country.
I'm checking the KHL standings right now to see where Moscow Dynamo is in the picture. So when it comes to Moscow Dynamo plays, like they've got a home game against. They got a home game against Lokomotiv on March 7th. That could be a good one to circle for the Ovechkin
Yeah,
return.
that might be his
game.
first one there. Yeah, that's a good timing one.
That might be the return there. So.
No, I will say, in all seriousness, I don't doubt him, right? I think we said that when we first started. We're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna say he doesn't look like he's himself anymore. I don't even know if he's gonna score another 5. He'll go through those slumps, but just never doubt him because every time we have, he's shown us that we're wrong. But 2, I give him a lot of credit. He's going to harder areas to score this year. I've seen a couple of times.
He's at least getting to those areas,
Yeah,
right?
he's going in there and he's driving the net. I think the goal he scored right when we before game on Friday, maybe he scored backdoor cutting someone when he's not open for that one timer that so he's doing what he needs to do, and he's going to need to do that to break this record. He's not going to score 40 goals standing in that spot, and that's been a cool transition to watch over the last 2-3 years, but specifically this year too.